Another wonderful result, everything over CLB 10 and a speaking 12 out of 12. Speaking is what we're going to cover in today's video. Note that the average here was 11, and this is a score that I love to see, 11s and 12s, and you can get this too. If you want scores like these, you gotta practice with exam-like mock tests. We are giving away 5 of these for free. All you gotta do is comment down below, like the video, and subscribe to the channel. We'll pick lucky winners from the comment section and you'll be given access to this completely free. Now, if your speaking exam is a few hours from now, a few days from now, you're just too overwhelmed with all the speaking content online, you don't know where to start, this video in 10 minutes will cover everything and you'll get the most important tips up front right here without any fluff, and we'll get into it right away. The speaking module is the most tiring module in the entire exam because this is the last module you will do in about 3 hours of your exam sitting. The first thing is listening, then reading, then writing, then speaking. The other element that's going to bother you is other people talking while you are speaking. Remember, there is no examiner here talking to you face to face in a separate room. You are in a room with other candidates and everybody is talking in a microphone, recording their answers on the computer in their cubicles or on their tables. You will be one of them. So you will have distractions all around, which is why when you're practicing at home, I always recommend play some news, play some noise in the background so you can simulate the exam environment and practice answering with distractions. Every question has a prep time and a recording time. The recording time is the speaking time. And in the prep time, I don't recommend taking notes because the prep time is only 30 to 60 seconds depending on the question. It's just not enough, so avoid taking notes. Mentally get ready with each question type and then start your answers. Now, when you get started, the very first question you will see is this one. Talk about one of your best friends. Preparation time 30 seconds, recording time 60 seconds. This is unscored. This is a warm-up question so you can warm up your tongue and say something and be ready before the actual questions. You can simply ignore this. The next question is where you are marked. This says here, this marks your buddy's debut in cooking without assistance. Counsel them on culinary techniques. So this is you talking to your buddy about cooking. Sometimes it's family, sometimes it's someone else, but mostly it's an informal question. Here, what you want to do is assume the role of this friend and be natural. Take the name of a real person. You want to start by pretending basically like you're talking to someone. Hey Bob, how's it going? I heard that you wanted to start cooking and that's pretty exciting. I got some great suggestions for you, starting with, and then give your first suggestion. After that, give your second one, then third one. 3 suggestions here, and then you wrap it up in a friendly manner. I hope these suggestions really help you out, and if you need any sort of help, you know how to reach me. Talk to you soon. Take care. That's it. Be natural and make sure your suggestions are well elaborated, giving the reasoning behind each. Question number 2 could be about anything. Like here it is about a volunteer experience that was particularly meaningful to you. This could be also about your favorite vacation, favorite food, favorite TV show, and so on. What you want to do here is start by explaining what that is, what that thing is. In this case, your volunteer experience. Where was it? When was it? And what was it? That would be the intro. Then you need 2 to 3 points only, because it's only 60 seconds, 2 to 3 points only that you expand on. What was special about it? Who were you with? What did you actually do? These could be the features of your topic. Wrap it up with a concluding sentence, starting with overall or all in all, I felt this way about this. Next, you're going to see a picture, and the question is going to be, describe what is happening in the picture. All you got to do is simply describe things happening in the picture, what people are doing, what the kids here are doing, what the kids in the back are doing, what is the audience doing, what is the scene all around. You can use words like in the foreground, which is things in the front, background, obviously things in the back. You can use directions like top right, bottom left, center, and so on. When you describe people, don't just describe what they're doing, that is their actions. Describe the feelings as well. They seem pretty excited, they seem ecstatic, some of them are jumping, some of them have their eyes covered because there are things flying all around. Every time you give adjectives, explain the qualities, and describe the picture, you animate it a little, give this a little life. You add more words into your range of expressions, which gives you marks for vocabulary. The next question, you get the same picture, but now the prompt has changed, and it asks you, what do you think will happen next in this picture? So here you start predicting. Once again, you use the directions, top, right, center, bottom, left, and so on, and simply explain what you think will happen, basically, within the next 15 minutes. These kids will probably fall on their heads because they seem pretty unstable right now, and the floor is slippery too. Likewise, the kids in the back will continue running. They'll change positions obviously because they look like they're in super fast motion right now. Moreover, more people might join as it looks like a pretty active festival, and so on and so on. You simply describe what is going to happen, but notice how in my descriptions behind each prediction I was giving some reasons. So this will happen because of this. This will happen because of this. Always make sure to give the reasoning to add to your task response marks. The next question is a little bit complicated in how the logistics work. So here in this case you have two options, the Italian cuisine or the sushi making workshop. The prompt is your sister wants to utilize her spare time by getting into culinary arts, and these are the two options. Now you have to pick one of these two options. Here you have 1 minute to look at these two options and see what you want your sister to do. Then, let's say you picked this option, the Italian cuisine cooking class. You select this on the computer, and then in the next minute, another 60 seconds of preparation time, the computer is going to present its own option, the French pastry baking course. And what it's going to say is your sister has chosen this one, the French pastry baking course, while you chose this one. Now you got to convince your sister why your option is better than hers. And your speaking time here is 60 seconds. Now your speaking time of a minute will start. Here you basically address the sister. Hey, Sarah, or if you want to call her sis. Hey sis, how's it going? I heard that you wanted to do this, but I suggest this based on these reasons. Go through all the reasons, explain all your points and why they are good. Don't just copy paste these words, but explain them in your own words, paraphrase them. Now the important thing here is you also have to contradict what she has. Explain why all of this is useless or not as good as your points. This question is comparison and persuasion. So you have to compare both sides and persuade your sister. Don't just talk about your side. And again, you can also select the other option, and then the computer will present again the same thing, the French pastry baking in this example. The next question is going to be explaining something difficult. For example, your sister is considering a lucrative job offer in a field she isn't passionate about. Your parents want her to take it for financial security. So you can either argue for following passion over money to your sister, or you can tell your parents that, hey, job satisfaction is important, it's not just financial stability. Now, you pick the thing that is easy for you to explain. Assume the role of a brother if you're talking to your sister, or of a son if you're talking to your parents, in my case, or a daughter in someone else's case. And here you start with, hey, I understand that this is not what you wanted to hear, or hey, I understand that this is a difficult situation, but this is what I think should be done. Give 2 or 3 reasons why, and at the end again use that emotional hook. I understand this is not what you wanted to hear, however, this is how I feel. So in this question, what's different is there's a lot of emotions. There's a lot of those cues where you're saying, I understand this is the case, but here's what I mean, try to understand me. And this is where you explain the human element. You use your emotional intelligence, and those words give you marks if used correctly. The second last question is a debate question. It's 90 seconds long. Once again, a big question. The question basically says all banking should transition to digital stuff. No more physical banks. Are you in favor or against? It is always a debate-like question. You want to start with your opinion. Pick always one side. Never explain both sides. One side, this is my opinion, and here you give 3 reasons again. Firstly, secondly, thirdly. Try to use advanced connectors though. Try to say mainly, furthermore, finally, and so on. At the end, rephrase your opinion that you used at the start and wrap it up with that flow. Finally, the last question is going to be a picture question again. Every time it's going to be a different situation. It could be you having the picture of your car that is all broken down and you're calling the towing company. It could be you seeing a weird creature and calling animal services. In this case, you are visiting an urban farmer's market on a bright sunny morning. You think your spouse will enjoy the shopping at this market and you want to call them and explain how this whole market looks like. This is the scene of a market. So again, it's very similar to question number 3 where you're describing the picture and you're simply describing everything in the picture. The only difference is who you are addressing, the prompt. In this case, I'm going to talk to my wife. Hey honey, I saw this shopping market I'm at and this is wonderful. I wanted to tell you about this guy who's doing this that is doing this, and so on. Explain the whole picture. At the end, again, wrap up with the prompt. I wanted to let you know about this because I think you'll find it really interesting. There's also a lot of stuff here you can buy. Let me know your thoughts. That's it. Whatever you would do in a real life situation, get that done here. And that would wrap up your speaking exam. That is it for this video. If you liked it, please like, share, and subscribe. And also, to get those 5 free mock tests, don't forget to comment down below. Check out also our CELPIP 15-hour course in the description. And if this is your first time visiting the channel, we got lots of videos, more than 1,300 CELPIP videos, the biggest channel on YouTube for CELPIP. Links to a lot of these popular videos are also in the description. Check them out, and I'll see you soon.